It's not enough. No, I won't stop.
Hello people, welcome to the channel. It's of course your boy, and today I saw in the comments section that someone asked me on how I make my thumbnails, and I just replied to him or her that I just do them in Photoshop, but I thought to myself, you know, why not I just make it into a video? You know, it's free content, might as well. And some of you might find this interesting, some of you might find this really useless, I don't know. But you know, this is how I make my thumbnails in Photoshop. Okay, so to start off, when I open up Photoshop, you won't have this instantly. I go File and New. Then I always do 1920 by 1080, so you get that high quality thumbnail. And once you click OK, you should have this pop up, which is, you know, you're on the right track there. Woohoo! And to start everything off, I always add a border to my thumbnails. If you haven't seen, probably can't see because they're white, but you know. So once I always do, if you can see the little two lines connect to the corner of the little thingy there, I just wait, let me do that again. So once both of them connect to the edge of the workplace, let's call it that, and just drag it over to the other corner till it makes that. Then go select inverse, and then boom, you have pretty much a border you can color in. So what I normally do is go to the paint bucket tool, get the white color, and just boom, do that. And I normally call that border, so just don't get confused. And can't see it right now, that's because we haven't applied any effects to it, which is fine. So let's do that right now so you can see. You can actually see it. So what? Oh yeah, I'm moving too fast for you. I'm sorry if you're new to Photoshop. So I right click on the layer, blending options, then go drop shadow, and then go 120 angle, and then do 25 on distance, and then 50 on size, and it's gonna add that little like faded shadow thingy there, which is what we want. But we're not stopping there, boys and girls. We go there, then right click again, blending options, and do the same thing. But this time we go minus 60 because not 620, because that's the direct opposite of 120, which is like right there. But yeah, go minus 160, then do the same thing, 25 distance and 50 size. And as you can see, it adds a nice like faded shadow all around the border, which is great because it just makes the thumbnail look a lot better in the end. Okay, so next, once we're finished with the border, we want to make the background, which is sometimes the most important thing in the thumbnail, sometimes not. It just depends, you know. So what I thought for today's thumbnail, as this is the thumbnail for today's video, saving time. So I thought doing select the polygon tool, by the way. If you don't have it, select it, just click and hold. Oops. Right, click and hold polygon tool. It should be there. Then just click whatever. You don't have to do this. You can just go on the internet and find any background you want. But I just like this idea. I haven't even tested it out, so it might even look really bad, but you know. So what I did there is just connect the little points, I guess. It makes a selection, then go back to the paint bucket tool and color it or whatever. You don't have to do this, but I just prefer it. I don't know. I think it looks better. Maybe eventually. So I'm moving too fast again. Sorry. So once we did that, we have this in a separate layer. What I usually do is Ctrl and J, so it copies it, and then I move it down, click the little middle dot thing, right click, horizontal, and then vertical, and boom, and then drag it into the corner right here, and bang, look at that, we have two corners, yay. Oh my god. Right, then what I do is click on one of them, hold control, then click on the other one, right click, convert to a smart object, right click again, click that, and boom, happy. Now they're all in the same file. After that, create a new layer by pressing that button right there, bang, drag that under, now let's call this white top, in case you want to do the same exact background. And this is going to be the second layer, just call it second, doesn't matter. You don't have to name them, I just like name them to keep me organized. Right, so we're going to do the same thing, just make it bigger. That's way too small. Just make a bigger triangle. It doesn't matter what you do up here, because once you go in the gray zone, it won't display in the actual image. So yeah, so go to the paint bucket tool, press X if you have white and black down there, and if you press X it swaps the colors around. So yeah, you want to color this black, and then do the same thing as you did with that, Control J, drag it down a little bit, horizontal and then vertical, and bang, click the little tick mark, then move it down to there, convert it again, and bang, right, now we have that, and that, cool, look at that, this is gonna be the third layer. This is all for the background, by the way, so we're gonna add the text after we finish the background, so you know. Right, after that, third, go to the polygon tool again, and then just click there, then just drag it like that. Bang, bang. That is a giant ass triangle, which is what we want. Color it black again, I know. And to tell the difference, go to right click the second layer, then go drop shadow. Actually no, what am I doing? Not drop shadow, no, color overlay, sorry. Then pick a grayish color like that. I'd say that's decent. Alright, cool. Then go back to this one so you can actually see it. Then Control J again to copy it. Then click the white dot, drag it up or down, or just move it a little bit, horizontal, vertical, and bang, look at that. And then just fit it in. Oh, come on. Or just drag it down. Oh no! You know, it's fine, it's gonna be, that whole thing's gonna be black anyway, so it doesn't matter. Maybe, who knows. Right, so do the same thing and make them into one file, and we have kind of a background, but I always like to add a drop shadow to the top layers, especially the white one, so the drop shadow goes like there, and it adds more detail to the thumbnail. I mean, most people won't notice it, so you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. But yeah, oh yeah, remember, forgot to tell this from the start, once you're doing drop shadows, if any other layer has the drop shadow effect on, it will, if you change the angle of the drop shadow, it's gonna change it on the other layers as well, so you just make it like that, and then go, and you know, it's fine, just follow what I'm doing, you should get there eventually, you know, after like 20 hours, yeah, it's fine. Right, go 120 again, as always, that's the good angle. I always do 25 and 50, I don't know why, just add like a good shadow, I don't know. And as you can see, it makes a good difference. Then do the same on the other side, so the fade goes down there as well, so it's equal. And also, so do minus 60 again, distance 25, size 50, and then bingo bango bungo, look at that. So we actually want to change the third layer's color, because we want to see the drop shadow of the second layer as well. So make it a bit lighter, just like that. That's too light. There we go, that's perfect. Just like that. Yeah, bang. Go second layer, drop shadow. Do the same thing as you did with them once. We could hold Alt. If you don't know this method, if you're new to Photoshop, you can hold Alt, press on the effect, and you can just drag it down to that, and it's gonna give the effect that's currently on the layer to the other layer that you just dragged it on. It's quite useful if it saves a lot of time, to be fair. So this time we just did the back side, which is fine. So all we need to do now is do drop shadow and then do 120 to do the top side up there. And yeah, distance 25, size 50 as always, and bang. That does not look half bad, but we don't want to do that. Wait, whoa. Right, make it into a normal file. Bang. Now we get to the text. Oh, wait, what happened there? Oh no. I think we're fine. Are we? No, we're not. No. See? Okay, so this is what I meant by if another layer has the drop shadow effect, like the white top layer, and we changed the angle on the second layer, and that's why there's no shadow there. So we wanna cancel that, and just do that real quick. Change this back to minus 60, which is fine. There we go. Do that. Go back there, and now do it. Because good thing I noticed that, because that would bother me when I finished the video. So now do that, and you should be fine. If I'm correct, yes, I am. Good. Okay, so now the background is done. It looks kind of funky. It looks decent. I don't know. I like it. So now we get to the main part, which is text. You need always, for me anyway, I always make my text really big, so it's easy to read. And yeah, so I always use this font, that font there. Bebas now. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. It's odd. It's an odd name. So what you want to do is change the text to white instantly. You don't have to have that size, because we're going to resize it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I always put around like 250, so it's big and I can see what I'm writing. And I always write in capital letters, because I don't know, just makes it bigger, obviously. I don't know. So for today's thumbnail, I'm gonna put make this. So most of the time, all I do is only type the first name of or first word of the thumbnail. Then hold Control, click T, so it keeps the aspect ratio. Hold Shift, and then just drag it up a little bit. Move it down, and make it nice and big. Well, in my case, I'm only gonna have 2 words in my thumbnail. Make this, which so I want to make them quite big, so they take up most of the thumbnail. And oh god, sorry. And yeah, so we have name, Control J, hold Shift, so it stays in the same lane. Just stays in there, right there. So if you hold Shift, it's gonna go down with the blue lines like that. But if you don't hold Shift, it's gonna you can mess it up quite easily. And if you were wondering on how to get this is called a ruler, okay, on Photoshop. What you do is hold Control and click R, or press R, and you should have it. It's quite easy. So yeah, anyway, move that down there. Move that a little bit up. Oh, see, I didn't hold shift there and it wobbled a little bit. And you want to keep it in the same kind of area. Also, you could just press the arrow keys to move them down, and it does the same job as if you just drag it. Just more precise if you want it like exactly in a specific spot. So yeah, so now we have 2 makes, which is not what we want. So click the text tool. Oh yeah, the text tool's down there, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Highlight it, just say in my case this DOS. Okay, right. So as you can see, it's not like centered, so what I usually do is just that, and boom, the text is pretty much done. Let me just resize that real quick, so it is a little bit bigger, and there we go. Come on. Hey, okay, so that's that. I'm gonna drag these back. I usually just drag them to the side in case I need them again, so I'll just drag them out. So we have the text and the thumbnail's done. Totally, haha, memes. Okay. Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry. Okay, so go put this on top because it's obviously the first text. Right click it, blending options. So this is where it gets kind of interesting. You want to go stroke. Do size 5 is what I usually do because it adds small outline. You're gonna see what we do with the stroke later on, and do the same shadow effect, which what we did last time. And this time, what we're gonna do different with the text is go gradient overlay. Just click that, and as you can see, I have some gradients pre-made already. But what I normally do with my thumbnails is I choose that one. I think that's a default one that you already get. I'm pretty sure you get till this one. All of these are default. The first line and half of the second line are default ones. So I'm pretty sure you should have this one, but if you don't, it's pretty much this one, but kind of lighter. I don't know. Just copy down the colors down there. If you need the codes or the hashtags, I don't know what these are called. I call them the hashtags. I don't know. So that's the one for the black color, and this is the one for the black white one. Just click OK after you're done. And what I usually do is do around 20-ish. So if you do 20, just write it down. So you can see it adds a little bit of gradient, but I'm not gonna lie, 35 has always been the magic number for me. 35% for everything is just beautiful. So that's the gradient done. Get that out of the way. Now go to the stroke back. You should have it on 5, outside normal 100%. So click on fill type, select gradient, then select the gradient, and in this case I want to make the text always do like either, oh, not that one, oh no, don't tell me this is grayscale. Oh no, you need to make sure, I don't know why this happens to me sometimes, but you need to make sure that the color mode is to RGB color or bitmap. Most of the time RGB though, so you actually have color. I don't know why I selected grayscale as the default thingy, but yeah. Anyway, let's get back into it. Let's go back to the stroke real quick, and let's select a color. It should work. Before we were interrupted by the grayscale, I was trying to tell you that you normally use either the orange, like the dark orange, or the red, or the blues. In this case, we're gonna use this blue. Actually, no, we're gonna use this blue. Yeah, this blue is a bit better. So if you want this blue, actually no, this blue is so much better. Look at that. Okay, so if you want this blue, the hashtag for the first color is that. and then the hashtag for this color is that. If you want this exact gradient in your thingy, and if you want to save it, by the way, you can name it what you want. I just keep on custom and press new, and it should save there. And just press OK after, and yeah. After that, click OK, hold Alt, click on Effect, drag it over to this, and it should be right there. So as you can see, this has the actual text. This is a bit lighter than that one, and we can easily change this by going back to the gradient overlay, just increasing the percentage to, like, let's say 40. I think should be fine. Maybe. I think that's a bit better. Didn't notice this difference. Anyway, I like it as it is, but after I pretty much finished the whole thumbnail, I click on border on the the top layer that you have on your project. Then go down here to that little circle thingy. Click on vibrance. Drag that all the way up. Right, so most of the time, in this case, it doesn't increase a whole lot of vibrance because there's only black and white mostly, and that's right, because when I make, let's say, my Fortnite thumbnails, the backgrounds are always like greens, blues, like, I don't know, brown, bright browns, like bright colors, and when I increase the vibrance, it just pops out even more. So you always want to do the vibrance to get the kids in. Haha. Then click on it, click on the circle again, go curves, and what I do here, I normally drag this. Doesn't matter where you click there, as long as it's on like the top bit. I normally just drag this up a little bit and then move this down. As you can see, it makes like makes it more shaded, if that makes sense. It makes it pop out more, I guess. Makes the whites even more white, if that makes any sense to your head, I don't know. And sometimes, if you're obviously gonna have a colourful background if you're playing any game. So what I normally do is go on top of the final background layer, or the background image that you're using, make a new layer by clicking that again, just colour it black, and oh no, my screen turned black, oh no, I ruined everything. No, go up here, click that opacity, I think it is, and go 35. I'm telling you, 35 is the magic number. It just makes everything darker, and if you're adding any text, which you should to a thumbnail, it will make it pop out more. And if it's too dark, just change the opacity to like 25, like 30, just lower it down a little bit. And right, let's say I put it on 35. It makes it a little bit darker, as you can see, and it makes the text pop out even more, even though it pops out as it does already. And right, so the thumbnail's pretty much done, but if you want to go extreme, you could improve the shadow effect on the text. I'll pop up on the screen right now on one of my Fortnite episodes. I did too much shadow effect. Okay, it's like a black outline, in a way. So what you want to do, if you want to do that, is just copy the text before you do anything with it, just in case you mess anything up and you have a backup, which is what I recommend doing. Right click again, go there, bang, make it into a one layer, not text anymore. Blending options, it will not have any effects anymore. Now go drop shadow again and just repeat the process as many times as you want, and it will make the text pop out more and more and more. But you don't want to overdo it, because it just looks bad after a certain point, and that point is after 3 times, I think. So this is the second time. We're doing the third time right now. So as you can see, me do this for both real quick. Oh, no, don't want to drag it. I just copied it. Oops. Oopsies. Alright, drag the layer. As you can see, it pops out loads. And that, I think it's overdone. So what I want to do is just click on the little eye and disable the effect, and it looks a bit better. And if you are bothered by that little shadow going over the text, if you're doing two words in a thumbnail, like me now in this case, you just drag this, the second word, or whatever the shadow is overlaying on top of it, if that makes any sense, and it should remove the little outline thing. So yeah, this is how I make my thumbnails. What you could do as well for extra tips, for extra, you know, you make these two into one layer, then you zoom out, which is Control and the minus, or just go down there to the zoom tool and just zoom in and zoom out. It's pretty simple. Click Control T and then flip it. This is what I do for my Fortnite thumbnails, at least. I flip it just a little bit, and then sometimes I hold Control. Oh, you need to click Control T. I forgot about that again. Hold Control, and then you can change perspectives, if that makes sense. So let's do this. I know it's a bit laggy, sorry, but yeah, you can change the perspective, and depending, let's say the character's over here, and you can easily make the text like this over this side, so it faces the character in a way. But I don't want to do that in this case. I just want to flip it just a little bit, and bang, that is fine. So thank you so much for watching this video. If it did help, leave a like. I don't know how it helped, but hopefully I gave you some tips that you didn't know about Photoshop. If you're new to Photoshop, hopefully you can make thumbnails now, if you want to make them anyway. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I know that you like it like that. I wear designer, check the name on the tag. White fox fur on my jacket. Excuse me, that's